Hello, everybody. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. I'm going to do a little video tonight, and I want to start it here. About an hour ago, I did a Facebook post, and the title was, something like she wasn't the only girl, and I went in there, and and what I was talking about, the girl that was murdered at the oil show party, actually a woman named Jessica had told me that wasn't the only girl that had happened to, and I've got a print screen of her telling me that, and so I posted that, and then I went and I posted the story of this one woman, Jakayla, that was missing, later found dead, suspected to be connected with prostitution, human trafficking here, and of course I think that's connected to the little girl murdered at the oil show party because she refused to prostitute. Okay, so there's one person that I think this might be one girl, and then there's another story of another girl that come in from Reno, and then she disappeared, and then another woman comes in from another town, and she disappears, and you're going to read these different stories that's supposed to be connected to sex trafficking, and then and I mentioned the one running down the alley, being chased with put in the trunk, maybe that's another one, and so anyways, I have this Facebook post I was gonna make a video out of, and here I'm looking at my Facebook right now. Here's Buddy Wayne Webb, okay, and I'm going, okay, well, so I'm scrolling down. My latest, just a second ago, there's a motorcycle down. I recorded off my scanner and posted it. Here's another missing woman. This is recent. That was 31 minutes ago, and so here 3 hours ago, and I'm going, where'd it go? Where's the Facebook post? And then it's like, oh, I know what happened. It's the shadow banning. That's what it is. And it's specific, certain Facebook posts. It wouldn't be one like like this one about geology. Oh, they'll leave that up there all day long. But you put one about murdered girls, and that's the one they're going to hide from you, And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a refresh on my screen. I'm going to click refresh, and you're going to see it pop up. And that's what happens, I think, to everybody. Okay, so like 50% of the time, people won't even see it. And so they effectively have limited the number of people that see my Facebook post, okay? So we're still waiting for it to come in on the refresh right now. I better do that again here. There it is, okay. And there it is right there. See, that's what I'm saying. It had disappeared. That happens all the time, and it is not an accident. I know it's on purpose. They're intentionally on purpose. Somebody's doing that. It's censorship to cover up crimes and murders. Intentional, on purpose. You figure out who's doing that, and then we might just find out who's murdering people, and we got a pretty good idea anyway. That's what we're going to get into on this Facebook post. So that's what the name of this is. Not the only girl this happened to, okay? So I was telling Jessica about the young girl that was murdered at the 2010 oil show party, and she told me that she wasn't the only one that has happened to. I wondered if this is still going on underground. It doesn't seem as if nothing has changed, okay? The crimes at my house, and nobody's been arrested, all the incredible amount of evidence, and nothing's changed. Just crime after crime after crime. The press is still hiding it, and it doesn't matter. The police are still not doing anything. It doesn't matter. I don't think there's any reason to think they're not raping and murdering little girls underground, right? I think we can all agree to that, right? Here's what Jessica said. This is the print screen. She says, and we were talking about, oil show parties. She says, I've been like 2,000 oil shows, and I'll tell you what, there's more than just that one that was murdered or raped because she didn't do whatever they wanted her to do. And that was my whole point right here. That's what I'm going. Jessica's telling me that there's other girls, That's the point. And then and that's what's amazing. That's what Facebook is doing, the shadow banning, hiding that. They don't want the public to see that, okay? That's what they're hiding from the public. That's what the press is hiding from the public. That's what the police is hiding from the public. Okay? And Jessica also went on and says, let me explain a little bit more about the secret place you're talking about, the people that are put in charge being the police and allowed by the Federal Bureau there that controls everything in Odessa and Midland, allows drug making, selling of children, robbing, and also murder all the time. It has happened for tens of years, and I hope to God that you find a way to protect yourself while trying to expose them. Okay, Jessica Lee Hadley. That's what she told me about, told me. Okay. So I went through here and I'm thinking about, okay, well, who's some of them other girls that she might be talking about? Here's one Jakayla Salazar, 25, was reported missing from Odessa on 1915 in 2015 in August, and her remains were found in June 2016. More than one person told me that she was involved in prostitution, so I think it's very possible that she was murdered by the same people that murdered the young girl at the 2010 oil show party when she refused to prostitute. Maybe Jakayla is one of the many girls that Jessica was talking about. And obviously the oil show parties were in the underground homes that was put in by the Bushes. One's in my backyard. You know, I don't know how many times I've gone over the evidence for that, right? And so here I want to tell you what Brittany wrote on a Facebook post that I took a print screen of. She said, she says, buddy, she says she was into this black dude would pimp her out. I picked her up at Midland at the hotel next to Denny's to come live with me and her and with me, and her worked at Jaguar's Gold Club in Odessa, and she left my house back to that guy. And then I seen this on the news when it happens. That's crazy as fuck. Oil show Jags, Midland, Odessa, and I'm from an Odessa, and I have heard so much of Haley Dunn because my hometown is Snyder, and I used to run around them people, and I know the names of people who y'all mentioned saying who did that. So she was also talking about Haley Dunn, which is also connected to this house and these crimes. And there's another little girl, right? Okay, that was supposedly taken to Odessa and pimped out. I think she is connected too. I didn't even put Haley Dunn in here. This was more information from a different person. We're talking about Jakayla, okay? And here's this one, another one. She says, please keep this private. I worked with her at Burger King, and she's talking about Jakayla. She was dating her manager, Hispanic guy, can't remember his name, but he would pimp her out. She told me of a time that he had to give a guy a blowjob in the parking lot to $50, okay? And I said, thank you for sharing, and I have a feeling the same human trafficking gang is behind several murders in our area. Okay, and then she goes on, she says, she was a sweet girl, she was just lost. I wish I could remember his name. He was from Houston. Javier. His name is Javier. He was actually in the middle of a divorce when he was with Jackie, okay? And so that was back in 2017. So I think that's a great lead because that's an unsolved murder right there into Jakayla right there. And that's one, one of the, I think that might be one of the many girls that Jessica was talking about, that this human trafficking, sex trafficking ring that tells these girls you're going to prostitute or we're going to kill you, and we have secret police gangs that'll break in your home and and make sure that happens or whatever, right? Caitlin Dennison has been missing since, this is another story. Caitlin Dennison has been missing since January 10th, 2018. The teen was originally from Reno, Nevada. However, she was last known to be in Midland, Texas. 6 months prior to her disappearance, Caitlin met a man from Midland in Reno. Their relationship reportedly progressed, and on January 9th, 2018, Caitlin and the man flew from Reno to Texas together. Caitlin never told her family the man's name or what he looked like, only that she was traveling to Texas with him. The day after she arrived in Texas, Caitlin called her sister from a Wal-Mart in Midland. During said phone call, Caitlin repeatedly said, "This man makes me scared for my life." This is the last time Caitlin's family spoke to her, and she's never been seen or heard from again. Okay, the unidentified man Caitlin was reporting has never been identified. Caitlin's family members do not know the airline she took or the flight number. Due to this, investigators have been unable to check airport surveillance footage. Okay, and here's a picture of Caitlin Dennison still missing. Comes to Midland, meets a man. Now, there's a story that I didn't even put down here, but my home health care nurse, when I got out of the hospital, was coming here and changing the wound vac bandages for me 3 times a week. Her name was Melissa Gibbs, okay? And so one day here, I was asking Melissa, as I was wanting her to put this piece of metal inside the bandages, and there was a reason, because I was fixing to have x-rays, okay? And I was suspecting that they were faking my x-rays, but I didn't have proof at that time. Now I got a lot of proof, okay? But back then I didn't. And so I was wanting to get Melissa to put this piece of metal in the bandages before I had x-rays, but she didn't want to do that, and I don't blame her, because she was an RN and she getting in trouble, but she felt guilty. And I told her at the time, I said, Melissa, they're trying to cut my leg off. And they were. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to cut my leg off, trying to cut the evidence off. And so, Melissa was feeling guilty, and she starts telling me there's this guy in Midland that takes this group of girls to Reno every year. Okay. And my understanding, she was talking about sex trafficking, human trafficking. Okay, the reason I bring this up because that's where Caitlin met this man at, was in Reno. Okay, you know, that's what. That's what Melissa told me. She was telling me the story. There was a rich man, he older than me, lived in Midland, took a group of girls to Reno every year. And about that time, the burglar in the attic that's here all the time throws something down. Boom! It scared us. Boy, I mean, it jumped, you know, and she, you know, Melissa was shaking, right? I mean, you know, she never come back to my house after that. You know, she did them bandages and never come back. And the person in the attic was telling her, you need to shut up. I mean, and then that's what happened that day. The reason I tell this story, because I got a feeling that person that Melissa Gibbs knows this person here that got Caitlin Dennison from Reno, okay? And I think there is a connection. Next story. Crystal Hall took a bus from Altoona to Midland, Texas on October 1st, 2019. Her sister said that Crystal believes she was potentially going to be involved in sex trafficking as she was with 4 men and 4 women who were not allowed to talk to each other. And I'm going to show you this one. Here's a picture of Crystal. And notice how they look alike, okay? You know, I mean, she looks like Caitlin, right? Okay. And so here, this is a Missing Persons Cases Network. Last contact October 1st, 2019. The family of a Codell Borough woman is looking for answers after learning Monday that their younger sister had been missing for over a month. Okay. It said Valerie Smith, the oldest Crystal's sister, said that Crystal was the youngest of 4 sisters and a mother of 2 children. Smith said that the family became aware of Crystal's disappearance when the father of her children told them that Crystal had last contacted him on October 1st. Her last known location was Midland, Odessa. She lives in Pennsylvania. No Facebook activity since September 25th, 2019. Smith explained that Crystal had aspirations in a military career, but suffered from a heart murmur. Even told her ex-boyfriend, who she remained friends with and who had served in the military, that she would not pass physical. The children's father said that she had told him she had met an individual online who said he would help her get into the military and send her a ticket to Texas. She took a Greyhound bus from Altoona to Midland, Texas. Smith said that she does not know where online her sister met this individual or the exact name, but it's believed to be Justin or Justice. According to Smith, on October 1st, Crystal had contacted the father of her children saying that she was scared, which both Smith and the children's father agreed was unlike her because she wasn't scared of anything. Crystal also told him that she believed that she was potentially going to be involved in sex trafficking, as she was with 4 men and 4 women, and the women were not allowed to talk to each other. It was relayed to Smith that Crystal did not know where she was or an address, but that when she was asked, she sent the children's father a photo with a dirty window making the photo unclear. It appeared that she was in a trailer park of some kind. I posted that picture before, okay? And this was the last time anybody's heard from Crystal, okay? And from the family, we got some information. We spoke to the man that bought her the ticket. He said they were supposed to be together, but his roommate got her back into drugs. She took off with him. The roommate is in jail, and now we're not sure what happened to her. She changed her address to 2040 North Palomino, Odessa on November 1st. Police found out, as far as we know, she's alive, but God knows what she's into, okay? So that's all. There's another missing person. As far as I know, that person's still missing. And this one I recently made a video about here, and this is was recorded off my my home security system in my backyard, and there was a person being chased down my alley, and looked like I was put in the trunk under gunpoint. I wonder if this is another one of the people.
Something real interesting to show you. Here just happened on August 7, 2016, 3802 Fair Circle, Midland, Texas. This is my backyard, the alley. It's right after midnight, 12:41. I'm going to put this in play. And I want y'all to see this, see it just like I seen it. I could actually hear it. If you look, you can see the lights on the fence. You see the lights on the fence over there on the brick wall, and they're bouncing. The cars are moving. It's coming down the alley. Okay, now there's a person running. Look, they're running. They're running down the alley. Okay, they're down there at the end. They got their hands in the air like, don't shoot, don't shoot. Did they get hit? I don't know. Something happened. The car gunned it. I could hear them gun it. All right, now they're opening up the trunk, okay? And they're shutting the trunk, and now they're leaving. This is amazing. I don't know what happened out there. Y'all share this video.
Okay, and so that was another example that here at my home, where it's believed that the underground homes are located, and and I think that's the whole key. That's the whole point of this. That's a good reason why they're shadow banning it, why the press is not sharing the facts and the evidence, why the police is hiding the crimes from the public. And and I went into caps on this one. I popped a cap lock on them. Many crimes and murders could be solved if only we would expose the underground homes and start making arrests. It is to the point of absurdity. You got all these people documented saying these underground homes are here. Who put them in, when, multiple people to talk to interview, connected to multiple murders, missing little girl. You got the big ditch right here. You got Homeland covering up the ditch right here, the human trafficking murder ditch. Talk to them. In my backyard's one of the underground homes. You can tell that, they took out the live tree. Here's that suspected tunnel entrance taken out. All kinds of evidence of people documented saying that's here, and nothing's changed. Nothing. I mean, I wonder if these little girls aren't underground right now. There's an absurd and embarrassing amount of evidence. I have a video here. If you hadn't seen this, you ought to see it. Underground homes in Midland, Texas. I mean, it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing to the state of Texas. It's embarrassing to good law enforcement. And that's where the problem comes in, is this corruption is just out of control. We have lost rule of law. Okay. The corruption is so bad here that we have police officers bragging in the public about stealing evidence in a capital murder case. And I just made a video about that. Police bragging about stealing evidence. And that's when I was ambushed and shot in my home with burglar alarms going off the attic. Somebody under my home shoots me. And I told the police at the hospital, proof is at my house. Proof is at my house. It was a voice recorder recording the burglar alarms going off. It proved I was shot during a home invasion. And so the Chandler comes in here. They find the proof. And then an officer named Matt Davis steals the proof, And basically what it is. And then he goes on YouTube and he brags about it. He said, buddy, I stole the evidence and nobody's ever going to find out, And I got the print screen showing that, okay? That's what the whole video about is. It's just, once again, that is how absurd the police corruption is here, okay? And so I talk about where he quit the police department, and then, but of course, he wasn't by himself. There was 11 police officers that I paid to get identified. Took 6 years, $2,000 award. First time in the history of America a crime victim had to offer an award to identify police. That's what I'm talking about here. These are the 11 names. Had to pay a private investigator. Never happened before in history of America. That is how absurd the corruption is here. And then, what do we end up with? A whole bunch of murdered girls and nothing changing, And I'm not going to go over this. I've gone over it a bunch of times. This is a police report showing, but what we know here, 5 police officers were under my home and somebody under my home shot me, right? So where was it? The underground homes are right here. One of them's in my backyard, and they're connected to the murder of that little girl. In 2013, the remains of a young girl were murdered out, at the 2010 Oil party my friend Angie told me about. And, and that's what I was telling Jessica about. And she tells me she wasn't the only one that happened to. Something's got to change here. Somehow we have to find legitimate law enforcement. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.